Hey, imagine you're in your car right now, stuck in a long traffic jam. You're running late for work, but the car in front of you isn't moving at all. What would you do? How would you react? Some of you might get really angry, honking your horn and yelling at the car in front of you. Honestly, most of us would probably do the same. But not the Stoics. Not those who understand the system. Hey, like. Hey, in a city in Cyprus, 300 years before Christ, there lived a wealthy man named Zeno. On his journey from Venice to Pharos, his ship sank along with all his cargo. His immense wealth, lost in an instant due to something beyond his control. If you were in his shoes, how would you react? Angry, sad? Would you think your life was incredibly unfair? Yeah, those are normal reactions. But not for Simo, the father of Stoicism. Hey, Zeno ended up in Athens. And while visiting a bookstore there, he was introduced to the philosophy of Socrates, and later met a philosopher named Crates. He jokingly remarked, "There's an upside to my ship sinking." This drastic event changed his life, leading him to develop the thoughts and principles we now know as Stoicism. Life is tough. Stoicism is a philosophy that developed over 480 years in ancient Greece and Rome. And it was popular from slaves to emperors, because unlike other philosophies, it really helps when we panic, feel like giving up, become desperate, and get angry. There were three great philosophers from the first season of Epithets. A slave who spent almost his entire life in prison. Hey, secondly, Seneca, a writer and advisor to the Roman royal court. And thirdly, Marcus Aurelius, a very good and generous Roman emperor, who was the strongest person of his time. Hey, have you ever prepared something? Made plans for something, expecting everything to be okay. But then something small happens that makes you uncertain. It's really sad when you have an important event today, expecting everything to be fine, and suddenly rain pours down, watering the plants and filling our wells, which are the roots of life. We suddenly feel angry and sad. Hey, but when we don't expect anything from the weather that day, we won't get angry, we'll be fine. In reality, we're not sad or angry because something bad happened to us. We're sad because something we expected didn't happen. Conversely, when suddenly it rains, and you didn't bring an umbrella, when you've been practicing hard for a tennis match but still lose, when you've been studying hard but don't get accepted into your chosen college, when your crush rejects your confession of love, when you're mugged in the middle of the street, we feel sad, angry, and feel like life is unfair. But regardless, we can't control everything that happens in our lives. We can't control the weather. We can't determine the outcome of a race. We can't control how people feel. Stoicism teaches us to expect the worst. All the bad things that can happen will happen. Envision the worst outcome. Because when we expect the worst to happen, if it does, we'll be okay. We won't feel as sad as before. And when it doesn't happen, we'll feel very happy because suddenly something good beyond our expectations happens. Hey, no matter how bad the situation is, we'll definitely survive. And we can even try to return to the original situation. It's really bad when we're not accepted into our dream campus. Really bad when suddenly thugs come to rob our money. But we'll be fine. We can definitely get through all of that. As Marcus Aurelius said, we're stronger than we think. Hey, Stoicism also teaches us to focus on the process, not the result. Focus on what we can control, not what we can't. We should try as hard as we can to remain calm in the face of everything fate throws at us, because regardless of what we want, we don't have control over most of what happens to us. But we have control over how we react to those things. When something bad happens, it's up to us to decide whether it's bad or unfair. When someone says something bad to us, it's up to us to decide whether it's because they're rude, it's just an assumption, or they're actually criticizing us. As Epictetus once wrote, it's not the event that disturbs people, but their judgment of it. Hey, Stoicism teaches us to learn to distinguish between what we can control and what we can't control. Making a YouTube video may not be as hard as being a Roman emperor, but it can still be pretty tough. Sometimes, you have to search for ideas for days and not find any. Then spend hours writing a script for just a few words. Then record and edit. When the video is finished and ready to be uploaded, we upload it, and all the control ends there. Now all control is in the hands of the YouTube algorithm. Sometimes the video turns out well, and sometimes it doesn't. I won't get angry because I no longer have control over it. Come on, we should focus on what we can control. We should focus on the process, not the result. Hoping for something beyond our control will only make us feel like our life is unfair. Hey, now imagine again, you're in the same car, stuck in traffic, and you're late for work. And the car in front of you isn't moving at all. What's your reaction? Hey, thanks for watching, bye.